Hey, you know, everybody's talking about the good old days, right? Everybody, the good old days, the good old days. Well, let's talk about the good old days.
Welcome back to the Water Left Frog podcast. Each episode, I walk through all the music and art I've created and co-created over the last 30 years. Last episode, I took a look at an EP I released about 2 years ago. I walked through each of the 5 songs, having a nice journey back in time. This week, I'm working through the archive once again, pulling recordings that go back a bit further. First up is Drunken Uncles. My version of country music and other people's version of country music are different. I love a good Hank Williams song. I love Patsy Cline. I even enjoy a good Alabama or Garth Brooks songs, but my songs don't really follow in those footsteps. My country songs follow the Wilco, Whiskeytown variety. I like to think of it as categorizing my country song as country's second cousin, a songwriter with some lap steel or a twangy guitar. Drunken Uncle comes from an album I made called Thickety Ford Lane. For those here in the great state of Missouri, you know that little town of Bourbon, Missouri that's just past Sullivan off Highway 44. Once you're on 44, you'll see about a dozen or so signs for Merrimack Caverns. Neat little place if you have the chance to visit. Big cave, lots of walking. The best part of it is that it stays relatively cool in there. I visited a couple of times right in the middle of summer and found the caves to be a bit on the chilly side. But if you keep driving past that exit for Merrimack Caverns, you'll eventually hit Bourbon. Take the exit and go about 4 or 5 miles from town, and you'll come across a gravel road called Thickety Ford. I added the lane part to make it sound a little fancier. As a kid, I traveled up and down this road with family and friends more times than I can count. Maybe I traveled with an uncle who, back in the 70s or 80s, would drive using their knees to steer and sip on a cold and most likely cheap brewski. That was the route for this song. This is called Drunken Uncles.
Done right or wrong, just get it done.
In the morning, screen door on the front porch slam, the big white sink in the kitchen, the windowsill with the dead bugs, and Grandpa barking out his commands. Gray concrete sticking underneath my feet, running through screen doors to get out of my chores, racing down the gravel road to the creek. Came together around the fallen fences. The bombs came down, frozen in photographs. The back of a pickup truck, we could still drive down to the river. Drunken uncles on Thickety Ford Lane. Drunken uncles. Brown gravel laying on the creek bed, shade trees across the water, bent over hunting for crawdads. We scream bloody murder, show no mercy over them. crazy dive in the swimming holes, pissing on each other. The skies above us look down, falling over us as the summers drifted and dried us off. Came together around the fallen fences. The bombs came down, frozen in photographs. The back of a pickup truck, we could still drive down to the river. Drunken uncles on Diggity Ford Lane. Drunken uncles out of soap white shoes, slowly making our way up the road to the barn. The dinner bell ringing, the warmth of a dry clothes in the falling sun, looking for firewood in the dark, pushing each other's sunburn.
If you continue driving down Thickety Ford, at some point you start to see a creek on your right. I forget the name of the creek. We always just called it the creek. And this creek meanders for a good long while and eventually runs into the Merrimack River. I am not a fan of rivers in Missouri. My least favorite is the Merrimack. I am past 50 on the age odometer, and there hasn't been a spring or summer where I've not heard of someone drowning in the Merrimack. There's lots of stories that come out about how dangerous that river is, yet each summer people flock to it regardless of the warnings. Where the creek meets the river is one of my favorite places. The waters are a different color, there's deep blues and greens, and it's just a little space between two worlds. Still safe, but on the verge of something bigger, faster. And this is where the song Between Up and Down came from. I hope you enjoy this one.
Between up and down, the houses with the stilts to the ground, the green waters on the shore, the creek and the river collide, and under these waters monsters hide. And I don't want to be old anymore. Alright. And we disappear on those gravel shores, trees fighting now. And on the fence posts we fall, a little feet to the ground. And that's where I'll always be, stuck here with you, between up and down, up and down. And through your sandy hair, glass marbles filling your pocket, Listen to that open smile, those freckles just going out a while. You were sinful for me, and I don't wanna be old anymore. Alright. And we disappear on those gravel shores, trees fighting our age. And on the fence post we fall, and little feet to the ground. And that's where I'll always be, stuck here with you, between up and down, up and down. And oh, how I wish you were so goddamn here, sitting across the water, drying our clothes in the sun, and living the lies that we always told. It's all we disappear on those gravel shores, trees fighting our age. And on the fence posts we fall, and little feet to the ground. And that's where I'll always be, stuck here with you, between up and down, up and down. Oh.
I finished writing a novel called As the Crow Flies a few years back. I still have it sitting in a drawer, along with a couple other books that I've written. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for, but the time just doesn't seem right for me to pull them out and put them into the world. I feel like that is something I should do around age 60. Maybe the world will take me a little bit more seriously if I'm all silver and spectacular. As the Crow Flies tells the story of Jesse. I have been building up the story with songs and poems and pictures for a good long while. One of the songs for this project, novel, radio play, whatever it is called Drive Boy. I recorded this around 1998, 1999. I was enjoying the fact that I had one of my old guitars revived, fixed, and all taken care of, and this song came together as part of that process. Whenever I get a new instrument or an instrument that's been fixed, it seems to have a new energy and it wants to play in the studio. It's a little bit of a quirky sounding song, but as I've gotten older, I come to appreciate the amateur producer that I was all those years ago. This is called Drive Boy.
Jessica calls me, says, do I got the time? Says it's been a while, boy, I can't play tonight. Mistakes are made, hey, let's forget all that. Just get me in your car, boy, and drive real fast. Oh. Grass and the world falls around. Hold me softly, no questions asked. Just get me in your car, boy, and drive real fast. And the roads we follow are whispering in my ear. Holding my tongue, cause I know these moments won't last. I'm awake by dawn, my fingers through your hair, saving the last drop as my ghost disappears. And on the floor, shouting from the factories, casting your eyes to those tumble-down doors. The rains come quickly and the woods come gently, and it won't be tonight as long as I drive. Throws a bottle as we slow down, knocked over trash cans and the neighbor's dogs, and in the distance against the passing light, her eyes through the window telling me to drive. Whispering in my ear, holding my tongue, cause I know these moments won't last. I'm awake by dawn, my fingers through your hair, saving the last drop as my ghost disappears. And on the floor, shouting from the factories, casting your eyes to those tumble-down doors. The rains come quickly and the woods come gently, and it won't be tonight as long as I drive.
You can see I ended that one gracefully. Just outside of Defiance, Missouri, and off Highway 94, there's a huge piece of land that is preserved and maintained by the Missouri Conservation Department. Each summer, they alternate planting corn or milo and sunflowers. If you've never seen acres of sunflowers at the end of July, I might say you have missed out on some living. I'm hoping this summer they plant sunflowers because it is a gift that keeps on giving all summer and into fall. I have lots of pictures of these fields, each one just as beautiful as the next. There's a white gravel road that runs between the fields and dips at the end into the Missouri River. I've walked that gravel road 100 times or more. It's my thinking road. When I've got a problem or I just need to wrestle with life, this is where I go. Funny enough, on those walks, a lot of songs come to me. It's like the antenna for songs is tuned into that space. I don't mind it at all. If this is where I need to go to get a song, I'm pretty good with that. I stumbled onto Mother Earth on this road as I was writing material for the album that would eventually be the Amen House. It was one of my early forays into writing acoustic music and letting the days of being a band leader fall behind me. I have fond memories of playing this song live. It was always in my set list. And so here is an acoustic version of Mother Earth.
That was just a little awkward.
About Jesus and his cross, but I think you could save me a few hours of loving in these fields. And if you let me wander with you, and I put our feet in these waters, say, Danny, my boy, your time has come to plant your flowers here in my earth. your dress, not saying a word but looking so innocent. Your skin brown from those long summer days, and a cross falling around your neck, tempting me to be safe. Oh yeah. And if you let me wander with you, and I put our feet in these waters, said, Danny, my boy, your time has come to plant your flowers here in my earth, my earth. I'm running away, Lord, I'm running away. La dum dum, la dum dum, la dum dum dum, da 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 da. Oh. And in the ground two lovers lay, flowers in each of their hair. And if this day be but our last, will take me now before I'm dead. And if you let me wander with you, and I put our feet in these waters, said, Danny, my boy, your time has come to plant your flowers here in my earth, in my earth.
Now it's time to put another quarter in the old jukebox and play an old favorite of mine. I mentioned a few episodes that my first band, Bad Connection, started when I was 14 years old. 4 young guys in a basement banging away at Guns N' Roses and Van Halen. I had a conversation with some musicians last week. We all agreed we are not seeing the kids in high school starting a band like we did when we were that age. It's a strange thing. Now, I know there are kids out there doing this. YouTube will send you down that rabbit hole if you search kids rock band. But in all fairness, YouTube can send you down a rabbit hole on anything. Look up coin collectors who burp, and you'll find about 100 supergroup pages with video. I just don't see kids in my world starting rock bands. It's a shame, because playing music with others has been something I've done for 30 plus years. I've learned a lot from others, and I've learned a lot about myself. Getting in a room with others builds confidence, and either you got it or you'll get it. And as much fun as it is, you have to work at it. Even as recently as last week, I had an old friend tell me about a recent band practice with a new group he was trying out. He had me in stitches at what happened. It brought us both back to when we started playing music and just what it takes to get through a song sometimes. Having said all that, I want to spin a Bad Connection song again this week. This is Scott, Pat, and Me, because sometimes you gotta fight for your right.
Kick it!
You wake up late for school, man, you don't wanna go. You ask your mom please, but she still says no. You miss
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Water Left Frog podcast. I want to thank the folks here at Center Neptune Studios for all the behind-the-scenes work, helping everything get ironed out. A nice, beautiful sounding episode. Also want to thank our legal team, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. And we will be back again in another week with another episode. In the meantime, continue to create, listen, and celebrate life. Thank you.